Let's have a warm welcome for Miss Andrea Wells and the Middle School Honors Band.
I want to thank my administration, Mr. Randy Hedstrom, my principal, who was unable to be here tonight, and my assistant principal, Miss Beth Leary, who is here. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for coming out. It's been an honor getting to direct such wonderful, talented musicians in the county. When they come together as one, it's just, it blesses your heart. So enjoy.
The next selection that you'll hear this evening is going to be conducted by the Director of Music here at CL Overturk 6th Grade Center. They will be performing a Yuletide Celebration by Bill Holcomb. Let's have a warm welcome for Director of Music at CL Overturk, Miss Tia Lingle.
I'd also like to welcome you this evening, and I'd like to welcome my principal, Mr. Mike Tucker, and my assistant principal, Ms. Terry Chanel. If they're here tonight, would you please stand? So I appreciate their involvement in my program. Thank you.
we're going to pick up the pace just a little bit and put a new twist on a familiar tune. This tune is entitled, Hark the Herald Trumpets Swing. So you know what kind of a tune this is going to be, and it's going to be conducted by Mr. Joe Hartley, assistant conductor at C.H. Price Middle School. Let's have a warm welcome for Mr. Joe Hartley, who also doubles on tuba back here with the rest of these students here. Let's have a warm welcome for Joe Hartley, please.
Thank you. I'd just like to echo the thank yous to our superintendent, Mr. Surensey, the people here at CL Overture. Thank you for hosting this, and especially to our own administration, our principal, Mrs. Lundy, who I believe is here in the audience tonight, if she could stand and be recognized. Thank you very much, Mrs. Lundy.
You know, so far we've heard a lot of different styles, and like I said at the beginning, that you were going to be in for a very variety-filled evening of music. The next is true with this next piece. This next piece is written by Mr. Robert Sheldon, who is a very prolific band composer, and as a matter of fact, he taught here in the state of Florida. This next tune of Bob Sheldon's, entitled Christmas Times 3, is going to be conducted by Mr. David Schomel, and I'm really happy to say that, you know, I said earlier that music is alive and well in Putnam County. Well, it certainly is down in that end of the county. Crescent City, it was called Miller Intermediate School many years ago, and they had a music program like 15 years ago. And they just resurrected the program, and Mr. Schomel came on board last year. He has started over 200 beginners down there in Crescent City. So let's have a warm welcome for Mr. David Schomel and the Middle School Honors Band.
I would like to thank the administration of my school, Ms. Thomas and Mr. Henry. I'm a young band director, and they've been giving me all the support any band director could ever want. I thank their guidance. I thank Mr. Albanese and all the rest of the directors. They've been giving me such great guidance over this year, last year and this year. I couldn't have asked for a better start to my career.
We have a lot of performance going on in all levels of our schools. We have a number of students that audition and perform in various honors bands throughout the Southeast. More recently, the Southeast United States Honors Band held at Troy University in Troy, Alabama, hosted their large honors band. There are 3 bands of approximately 150 students each from around the Southeast United States. I'm proud to say that we had a good amount of representation from Putnam County here. If you were in the Southeast United States Middle School Honors Band, please stand. Let's have a hand for the students. We are going to conclude this performance by the Middle School Honors Band, and they're going to be performing a holiday favorite, and you'll hear lots of familiar tunes in this. It's called The Carolers, and it is going to be conducted by Director of Bands at C.H. Price Middle School. Let's have a warm welcome for Miss Julia Horton.
Good Good evening. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be working with these wonderful students. We've had such wonderful rehearsals. They have been a joy to work with. They've been courteous, and they've been willing to work. We've been really, really rigorous during those rehearsals and pushing and pushing and pushing. And they have given until that whole 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 45 minutes is over. So they've been wonderful. Give another round of applause to our wonderful middle school honor band. I always like to thank people. I'd like to thank Mrs. Leah Lundy, my principal. Thank you, Mrs. Lundy. Yes, she is wonderful. Mr. Joe Hartley, my assistant. Friend, someone I can bounce ideas off of. Very wonderful to work with, another band director. Thank you, Mr. Albanese, for all he does for all of our schools. I thank our superintendents, past and our present superintendent. Thank you so much for supporting the arts. And I get thank happy. The last group I want to thank is all of you out there. Thank you so much for all that you do for our students, for our schools, and for your teachers. Thank you. Our final piece is the Carolers.
We are going to introduce the CL Overturf Honors Recorder Ensemble and their Director of Music, Miss Tia Lingle.
Our first selection tonight is Kris Kringle's Jingle Tingle, or as my kids like to say, Miss Lingle's Jingle Tingle. next selection is called Ukrainian Bell Carol, and it's also by Handel, and it happens to be in 3/4 time signature, which is a little more difficult for beginning students, but they have learned to master that. And also it's directed in 1, for those of you that know how to read music. So it's a little more challenging, and the sounds sort of bleeds together, so you have to know where to put your to sound, which is the syllable we use at the beginning of each note. So without further ado, here we go with Ukrainian Bell Carol. Maybe you can see their ribbons that hang from their recorders. As they learn a song in the Recorder Karate program, they receive a ribbon. This group has mastered all their music, and they have a black belt. We call it a black belt in music. And so you may see that on their instrument. So I just wanted to tell you what that is. Okay, our last song is Ode to Joy, and it is the black belt song. It is probably the most difficult one that we're doing tonight. And it is also written by Beethoven.
And just to think, these students actually are reading this music. They know the fingerings. It's tremendous. And they started learning this back in September. So again, let's have a round of applause. Thank you. There'll be another very brief intermission while we get these guys to transcend down there, and we'll be ready for the senior high group. Thank you very much. The first selection will be Do You Hear What I Hear? And it will be conducted by the Director of Bands at Crescent City High School. Let's have a warm welcome for Miss Jolene Sanford and the Senior High Honors Band.
My fellow band directors, it's been great working with all these students. Dr. Sorensen, we appreciate you being here. My principal, Ms. Michelle Higginbotham, will you please stand? Thank you for being here.
The next selection that you will hear has recently, within the past decade, had Jim Carrey portray this role, and I want you to think of that movie as you hear You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, conducted by the Grinch himself, Director of Bands at QI Roberts High School, Mr. Randy Dew.
thank my administration as well for all the support. Unfortunately, I don't believe my principal is able to make it, Mary Piazza, but Ms. Baggs is here. She's moving right here. There she is. Say hello. I'm doing the Grinch, and I'd like to thank Lena for that. Lena, where are you at? I ask my kids sometimes, I talk to them way too much, and I said, so, you know, we got to do Christmas Honor Band. I wonder what we should play. And she just goes, Grinch. And I said, okay, we're playing Grinch. And Grinch is kind of a jazzy tune, and I did a jazzy tune up here last year, and I'm probably the least jazzy conductor in all of these band directors. But I don't really have to do anything, just wave my hand. So I hope you enjoy it. It is You're the Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Okay, we're going to change the pace and get into what we call serious music here. We would like to present to you this evening a rendition of Good King Wenceslas, and it will be conducted by the Director of Bands at Interlochen High School, Mr. Wilfredo Irizarry.
Thank you very much. I'd like to, of course, thank my principal, Mr. Helms. He could not be here tonight. He was prior engagement with the coaches, but very supportive of the music program. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Swenson for being here. It's great to have you here and the support that you give the programs here and everything that we do. Of course, I have to thank my teacher here, Mr. Albanese, okay? My band director. Definitely an inspiration to me. He's the reason I'm here. I love telling this story. He loves telling this story. When I graduated, or actually in 10th grade, I told him I wanted to take his job when he retired, and here I am. So thank you for everything you do for us. Okay? I'd like to, of course, thank the parents, everything that you do. You know, band takes a lot of time, and you're here at just odd hours of the day, on weekends. I don't know how many times, you know, you're getting here. We get back 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and you're there picking up your kids, you're there dropping your kids off, and you're helping other kids off. So thank you for everything that you do. It is so important, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. And it's fantastic. The directors that we have in this county, we've come close together these past couple of years. So thank you for everything that you guys do and helping put this together. Thank you. Yes, another one. And I always like to end with my family. As a director, we do put in a lot of time, and my wife was in band. We actually met at Interlochen High School, and we've been married for quite some time. Yes, and she's sitting right up there, over there, blushing. I love you. Today, before I get to that, this Saturday is Mr. Albanese's anniversary, so happy anniversary. Thank you. Today is mine and my wife's 15-year anniversary, so I love you, and we have one more song. I've asked Mr. Albanese and the directors if I can add a song. They all agreed. This is our wedding song, Unchained Melody.
It's been a great evening. A lot of good music. And we're almost done. And I want to thank you for coming out here and supporting the arts in Putnam County. We're going to go ahead and conclude. And this, again, is going to be in stark contrast from the last selection here. And at this time, we are going to perform for you Let It Snow and Winter Wonderland, arranged by Mr. Ralph Ford. And the director will be Director of Bands from Palatka High School. Let's have Putnam County's own Miss Joan McCraney.
When I picked out Let It Snow in Winter Wonderland, I was hoping it would be a little cooler. 80 degrees is a little interesting to try and imagine snow, but hopefully we can usher in the cooler weather with a little wish for maybe some snow and a nice winter wonderland. And I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very happy holidays, and hope you enjoy this song.
All directors, up front, all directors. On behalf of the directors of Putnam County, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and hope that you have a blessed holiday and a safe holiday.